What is going on, everybody, and welcome to episode 40. I'm your host, Marcus, and in this episode, we are talking about to trust. Now, there's a deeper meaning to this and why I wanted to bring this up. Now, I've done a video on YouTube about this particular topic during this week, and something that I feel, a lot of people struggle with, and something that allows you to make change in your life and is a big part of being able to do that. And that is confidence. Confidence is one of those things, even your greatest day, you could have some of the best confidence in the room. And then any given day, even though you may have a strong sense of confidence, whatever the case may be, something might happen and you may lose your confidence almost in an instant. That being said, to trust. Why am I talking about to trust? Because essentially confidence is to trust in yourself. If you can trust in yourself, you have confidence. Now think about trust, right? Let's define trust. When you talk about trust, when you're out trying to trust someone, right? Whether that's in a relationship, friendship, any kind of business relationship, any kind of trust in life, there are specific traits you look for. You look for someone that's essentially competent. You look for someone that's essentially confident or knowledgeable or trustworthy, honorable, right? Loyal. You look for those things to be able to trust somebody. And then when you talk about yourself, how do you check off on that list? How honest do you believe you are? How loyal do you believe you are to your friends and your family? How trustworthy are you to other people? This is how you need to view yourself, right? This is where you find the trust in yourself. But the problem is we all are human. We all make mistakes. So what tends to happen is what we do is we take events that have happened in the past and we define every choice that we make from now on based off of those decisions we've made in the past, as opposed to realizing you can change in any moment at that given moment by going the other way. If you're not an honest person, the next thing that comes out of your mouth needs to be honest. It needs to be genuine, right? When you're talking to somebody, even talking to yourself, this all relates back to yourself. Be open and honest with yourself. Don't ever feel that you can't be. If you feel like you can't be open and honest with yourself, right? How are you supposed to be open and honest with other people? Are you supposed to gain confidence in yourself? The way you can build the confidence is by going through this list and making choices, every choice that comes up, making it the right choice to build your confidence. And then you are able to trust yourself in the decisions that you make. And a lot of times, and even in my video this past week that I've done for YouTube, I've talked about this. I've talked about building confidence, about doing extremely hard things, because when you put yourself through something that's extremely pushes your body physically to the extreme, when you do it when it pushes you mentally to the extreme, this is where you learn to trust yourself. You learn to trust your instincts. You learn to trust that you don't need all these different things, these material things that we're so caught up in trying to gather in our life, and all the other things in our lives, right? Trying to gain the respect of your peers, right? Or trying to be noticed, or trying to stand out, right? All these different things, they don't really matter. If you strip it all away, right, and you are looking at yourself, can you trust yourself? Could you push yourself mentally and physically to the point where you weren't relying on all those things, but you trusted your natural instinct? And this is where you learn to build confidence, by putting yourself essentially through the gauntlet, by pushing yourself mentally and physically to see how far you can get. Because a lot of times Our mind will tell us that we are done way before our body is even done. And it is pushing those limits. And something you have to continuously do, something I try to strive to continuously do to switch up my routine, whether it's in the gym, whether it's running, whether it's some kind of mental exercise. And what I've always found is this is why I enjoy running. I don't enjoy running for the sports. I don't enjoy running for the health aspect. My biggest takeaway from running is the mental challenge that it brings. Your body will quit way before, or your mind will quit way before your body actually does. Your mind will tell you, I'm done, I'm tired, I'm hungry, it's just too hot outside. It will give you every excuse in the book to shut it down. And this is where you learn to push yourself by getting into your body. Stop thinking about all the thoughts and negativity about everything. And then on twofold, if your body is struggling and it's in pain, you can switch to your mind. You start thinking about other things. You get out of your body, and you learn by doing this, you can switch the gears and allow it to push yourself to another level. And this is where you learn that I am capable of adapting to my situation. I don't need particular things, materialistic things, particular knowledge. I just need to know how to adapt and give myself a reference point that I know I can do it. But you're not going to have a reference point. You can talk about it and say, well, I've never done it. And true, you haven't done it, so it's going to be harder. This is where trusting the process matters. Because if you don't trust in the process, you're not going to see the progress that you're making day in and day out. And this is why having a feedback loop to see the progress that you're making really, truly helps. But when you start talking about building confidence in yourself, perhaps documenting on a journal your daily activities, or whether that's writing it down or even just doing a video log, you can even do it private, just to have some kind of log of your changes into this more confident person, into this person that trusts themselves, right? Going through that list on honesty, loyalty. And I'm not talking about just being loyal to somebody else. Yes, that's important. But what I'm talking about is being loyal to yourself. Are you allowing other people to walk all over you? Are you allowing people to take advantage of you, right? Are you being loyal to yourself and standing up for yourself when those particular situations happen in your life? You need to know where your boundaries are. You need to establish those boundaries. This instills trust in yourself, which builds your confidence. And this is what is important. By doing these little things and by being mindful, you have to be mindful of the way you identify trust. And then flipping the script and putting that trust scale on yourself and being mindful of the choices that you're making and correcting where it needs to be corrected and not allowing it to just push itself down the road. Again, kicking that can, assuming one day it will happen, because it only happens in the moment when you are making choices and being aware of the choices that they're making, and understand that your willpower during certain days will be weaker than others. And on those days in which you are weak, you still need to continue to make the choices to help build that confidence in yourself. And this, in turn, will build your confidence to greater heights and allow you to believe that no matter what happens in life, you will be able to walk away from whatever it is. You will figure out a way to do it. In my experience, it's always just giving yourself time, and being patient with yourself builds trust in the process, builds trust in yourself by doing hard things, doing tough things, going out and learning something hard, something mentally, something physically. Maybe it's rock climbing, maybe it's going out and doing CrossFit or weight training or something completely different that you're not used to, or possibly going and taking a test, right? Perhaps even trying to do programming, learning to teach yourself programming, because it's a major problem-solving skill, right? Learning to solve problems. This allows you to give yourself this belief that you can do it, that no matter what, that I have developed the skill to adapt. How can I adapt to any situation? And that is what matters. Know where your resources are. What do I need? If everything was stripped away, what do I need to be able to adapt to the situation I'm in? If you can define that and build confidence in that, you build confidence in yourself. You start trusting yourself. And a lot of times you can even go back to, well, I don't trust myself, so logically I'm going to pull myself back from making this particular choice. And this is where I talk about intuition all the time. You have to learn to trust your intuition. This is also part of that confidence building. Is even myself, building up my intuition took a long time, and something I continue to push forward. I have a belief that my intuition is guiding me the right way. How do you do that? By understanding there is uncertainty in anything that you do. Even you can have the most pristine job and you think that you are safe and sound, nothing's ever going to happen to you. And that is a complete lie. You have to understand that nothing is 100% guaranteed. Those things are out of your control. You have to understand what is actually in your control and what is out of your control. Once you realize that those things that are in control, that you are in control, that you actually you can actually guide and navigate your life in the direction that you want it to go. It doesn't matter which directions, right? Limitations on body, right? You can't just go out and be a basketball player. I've talked about this before. There are limitations to it, but aside from physical limitations, there's really nothing else you can't do. You can teach yourself. You can find out what your constraints are. You can push yourself out there. You can learn more and do more. And that's where it comes into this whole aspect to trusting yourself is actually doing. Yes, you need to learn about different things and trying to obtain those skills, but without getting down and gritty and getting your hands dirty, you're not really going to make the progress that you want. And this is what is extremely important. You need to know when to be able to take a step back, when to be able to perhaps learn a little bit more, perhaps ask questions, get other people involved if necessary, but then start building that skill and just doing, because by doing, you're going to build the confidence in yourself. You're going to build this belief in yourself that no matter what happens, you can solve any problem. No matter what happens, you'll figure out a way because you have the belief in yourself that it's okay. You just got to give yourself enough time and things will come to the forefront. That being said, trusting in yourself and going over that list. What other things can you mark down? Write it down, get a list. Write all those things down that you trust in somebody else. What defines that? Honesty. Are you honest with yourself? Do you talk to yourself in a positive manner? And this is one of the things that I've always talked about and always reiterated on a lot of different things because it's extremely important. Anything, the most powerful two words are I am. Because anything that follows that, you're going to believe is true. And you don't want to believe me. Every time you say, I can't, any two-word statement combination in which you essentially are referencing yourself, you will believe, I can't do this, I can't do that. So I always say you need to change up the way you talk to yourself and say, I can do this. Because why? Because it's only a matter of time. I know that I don't just come into the world knowing everything there is to know, and I can't learn something new. You can learn something new. The past doesn't define your future. You can make choices now that can change everything. You can change your life now by doing something completely different. You can start running. You can start eating healthy on your next meal. You can start reading books. You can start signing up for a class. You can start signing up for coaching lessons. You can start doing all these different things, and they will change your life. But is it until the doing and continuous doing and the repetition and building building a reference for yourself that you realize that I can do this. It's going to take consistency on the beginning. It's going to take you building new habits, new ideas, rewiring your brain, and understanding that that change in itself will be hard, will be painful, will be tough, will require you to be doing a lot more thinking because you're doing something that is not typically normal. Until you rewire your brain, then it becomes a habit, becomes second nature for you to do it without thinking about it. But you have to build this yourself. No one else can build this for you. You can't read it in a book. You can't watch it on TV. You can't listen about it. You can listen here, but you have to understand that it is still going to take effort on your behalf. It's getting the perspective. That is what you need. That is the key to unlocking true potential in your confidence. Because if you have confidence, you'll go out and you can navigate life much better. People like people that are more confident. People enjoy being around those people. People enjoy those people leading other people. But to have that, you have to establish it in building the trust. There is no trust, there is no confidence. It's just like any relationship in your life. If you have no trust, there is no confidence that that person will be there for you, or that person will help you out through thick and thin. And so saying that, you apply that to yourself. A lot of times we don't believe in ourselves. We don't think we can pull ourselves out of it because of previous past events. And realize that the choices we make can change everything. And so when looking at it, and you're talking about, I can do this, you need to start looking at the words and the phrases that you tell yourself. And you could talk about doing affirmations every single day. And you can do it, 2-3 times a day. Write down an affirmation or two every single day. When you first get up, say that affirmation. I am a great programmer. I am a great mom. I am a great dad. I am a great doctor. I am a great podcaster, whatever the case. I am healthy. I make healthy choices, right? Reiterate these every single morning, then midday, and then again at night. You keep doing this, you're rewiring your brain, rewiring your subconscious into believing that it is true. It's the thought process that we don't screen or think about on why we can't do it. We just accept the voice inside that tells us why we can't. But it is rewiring that and understanding that it takes lots of repetition to be able to get that far. And it still takes more repetition to be able to maintain that. But once you get it, you got it. And then you enjoy where you're at. So you continue to push. You start building more confidence. You start challenging yourself to things you never thought you could challenge. People start commenting on the way you hold yourself. And this goes not just to the psychological and physical aspect of everything. A lot of it is the way you carry yourself can bring you confidence. I've talked about different ways that you can stand in making eye contact and smiling at people and forcing yourself to do this, because by doing this, it builds your confidence. Because you can judge somebody's confidence or trust in themselves by looking at them. If you can look at them in the eye, not awkwardly or anything like that, but if you can look them in the eye when you're talking to them confidently, right, that helps you build confidence, and you see the other person's confidence. Because a lot of people, they won't stare at you for very long before they look down, or they look away, or they're messing with something else. You can tell the trust that they have in themselves. So notice this about yourself. Every time you talk to somebody, are you looking down? Are you looking away? How long can you hold a gaze with somebody? Because when you're holding gaze, you're essentially being, they talk, it's the soul to someone, or the eyes of the soul, or some, or, they talk about how the eyes are a direct connection to the soul. And this exposes you, right? This is the biggest confidence gauge ever, because you are exposing who you are by the way you make eye contact to somebody. And that is what matters. And so if you can hold the gaze, right, this will help you gauge where your confidence level is, where your trust with yourself is. Because you feel subconsciously that when someone is staring at you, they can see who you truly are when they're looking at you in the eye. It feels like, they can reach deep down in your soul and they know your whole history. That's the way it feels. And so that's why we are so easily apt to push away and not look at somebody in the eye. But where it's most important is to push yourself to do this little test and see where you're at when you're going through and building your confidence, your trust in yourself by doing those hard things. Continue to go throughout your day. Maybe you're checking out at the store and you see the clerk. You're checking out stuff. Look them in the eye and ask them, how are they doing? Right? That doesn't mean you have to awkwardly stare. Doesn't mean you have to stare. Just look at them in the eye and be genuine. That's ultimately what it is a lot of times we aren't genuine. We always feel like when we're asking someone, we're just doing it for courtesy. It's not being genuine to really understand how their day is really going. If you could just be genuine in wanting to know how someone is doing, right? It doesn't matter if you know that person from anybody else, but it's just being kind. It's being friendly to somebody else. And when you're genuine and people see that and you see the smile, you start building confidence in yourself. Knowing, hey, I'm somebody that can be trusted because I can look them in the eye and I can put a smile on that person's face. So these little things, these little techniques, they help you build the confidence in yourself. So do the eye test and continue to do it. For myself, I remember starting doing this all the time. I always found like I would look down. It didn't matter who the person was. And I would talk to them. Whenever I talked to them, that would be fine. But I could never hold my head up and look at them and say good morning and stare at them in the eye. I always felt like I was always hiding something. Like that person could see into my soul and understand all my bad judgments in my life. It wasn't until I accepted, yes, I am human. I make mistakes. That's okay. You're human. You make mistakes too. And I'm aware of that. We are okay. Guess what? That is not who I am right now. Every choice that I'm making from here on out is a choice to help build the trust in myself. And so here's me looking into your eye and helping me establish my trust. And by doing this, by challenging yourself, you realize quicker and quicker, the more you're aware of this, you start building the confidence in yourself. You're okay to be quirky. You're okay to be nerdy. You're okay to be yourself. And some people won't like you being yourself. That's okay, because you trust in yourself. As long as you trust yourself, you have to segregate what other people's thoughts and ideas are from your own. You have to segregate the fact that if you are so worried about someone else's judgment, that means their opinion of you means more than your opinion of yourself. Again, another thing you have to start building trust on. Value your own opinion over everybody else's. Doesn't matter who it is. You need to establish a confidence in yourself that's going to allow you to go out there and take on the world, to go after the things that you want. If you want to go out and be healthier, if you want to go out and write a book, if you want to go out and write a business or start a business or go after that new career or go to college or whatever the thing is, you can do it. You have it all internally. It's unchaining it and allowing yourself to reach your full potential by letting go and trusting in yourself and building confidence. And if you can do this and put forth effort, because I'm telling you, it's going to take effort. It's going to take an awareness of the choices that you're making, of the eye contact that you're making to see, engage where you're at. That's going to make the world of difference in building confidence. Challenging yourself mentally and physically. You should do something little every day. Strive for some kind of goal. Maybe it's a marathon to push your body. Maybe it's a test to push your mind. Maybe it's Wim Hof breathing and sitting in ice and seeing how long you can do that. How can you build that mindset to overcome the stress of your body through breathing? These are all techniques, these are all things that are going to help you build a strong confidence to go out there and tackle the world. Now, you may be like, well, I don't really want to tackle the world, but confidence nonetheless is something you need. We all want a little more confidence. To be able to do that, you have to trust in yourself.